Joins me now live in the studio. Thanks for coming by. So Iran says that the UK is holding the tanker only at the east of the United States. To that?
Well, the White House is Britain's and regime illicit shipment. EU and the United States has sent oil deliveries and fuel deliveries. The regime this to use it as jet fuel to fuel horrific conducted war machines. Reasons why these are sanctioned. On one supertanker release is coming at a time when Iranian oil exports are significantly. There was around 2. It is today, according to officials, the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal, at 230,000 barrels per day, a steep decline in Iranian oil exports worldwide, and that is ravaging the Iranian economy.
Right, but for the Iran to say only doing this because the United States has pressured them to, it doesn't make sense with the UK claim that but these are EU sanctions.
Well, when the U.S. sanctions Iran, the EU follows. I mean, it's also coming at a time when nearly, there's been a drop of 50%, that's 50, in terms of the business between EU states and Iran since the maximum pressure campaign by the United States was imposed by the Trump administration, trying to pressure Tehran back to the negotiating table. So this is almost a double whammy, as it were, to both try to prevent the Assad regime from from importing oil and stopping Iran from exporting its oil. Of course, the Assad regime is an ally of Iran. Iran is one of the few states that still supports Bashar al-Assad and his war machine. This embargo has also dropped Iran's currency to around 70%. That's a 70% drop. People in Tehran are having difficulty affording vegetables and milk. That's leading to a great deal of concern in Tehran.
Quickly, if you can, though, I mean, it's difficult to understand how much the EU and the UK really do support Iran's push to keep the 2015 nuclear deal alive. I mean, Iran says the EU is refusing to wield its power against the United States here, and they would say seizing this tanker actually supports that argument. Are the EU and the UK sincere about keeping the 2015 nuclear deal in place?
Well, that seems to be the strategy of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Tehran. He wants to drive a wedge between the EU and the maximum pressure campaign of the Trump administration. Iran used to export a significant amount of oil to the EU. It wants that business back. It wants the EU to try to bring the United States back to that agreement. Of course, the Trump administration has said that that agreement with Iran that was signed under the Obama administration was not fair. It would allow Iran to eventually, within 10 years, be able to develop a nuclear program. Iran is hoping by increasing its pressure against the EU to include potentially increasing its enrichment of uranium, that it can pressure the EU to at least offer some sort of sanctions relief that Iran's economy desperately needs. Ali Khamenei in Tehran in a very difficult position.
Okay, Oubai, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for that. Now to the U.S. state of California.